Hello and good morning everyone. So today, and if the rain doesn't ruin my plans again, I tried to record this video yesterday but it started pouring down, so I had to abort mission. I'm gonna be comparing two film stocks, HP5, my favorite film ever, against Delta 3200. I've shot Delta just once before and I love the results. I'm gonna link the video around here. So I'm gonna be comparing the two of them today and see if after a few shots I have a new favorite. So of course it's raining quite a bit, so... Oh! Chester! What do you want? What do you want? Get out! But hey, I still want to get out and shoot those two rolls, so yeah, let's do it. Come on! Just too many things. So yeah, it's pretty much impossible for me to carry all this gear today with this rain. Umbrella, 2 tripods and 3 cameras. So I'm just gonna go back home and get rid of most of it and just make it simple. Oh no! Oh shit! Shit! Hey! So you are staying here, you are staying here, you are staying here, all of you are staying here. This is what I'm bringing: camera, film back with HP5, film back with Delta, and extra batteries for the GoPro. That's pretty much all I need, I guess. Of course, now that I don't have any gear on me, it's not raining anymore, but oh well. So this right here was the second shot of the day, and somehow I lost one frame on the HP5 roll because it jumped the film back. The mirror never came back down. It happens every once in a while. I'm not sure if it's the film back or the camera, but if anyone has any idea why that happens, I would really appreciate it. So far this morning I lost a frame on my HP5 roll. I wasn't able to bring all my heavy gear because it was raining pretty bad. Of course now it's not raining. The drone gave me like 100 different errors that I had never seen before. The GoPro is giving me SD card errors now, and Luna ran away and I'm just waiting for her. So the way I'm gonna be comparing these two film stocks, I'm shooting them both at 1600. I've been shooting my HP5 at 1600 lately anyway, and the last time I shot Delta, I did it at 3200, and some of the shots were kind of underexposed, so I thought that it would be a good idea to just go for 1600. I don't know if this is the most fair way to compare both film stocks, because I'm actually pushing HP5 2 stops while pulling Delta 1 stop, but for me personally this is the way that makes the most sense, because I like to shoot film at 800 or 1600, so relatively fast speeds. This gives me the flexibility of being able to shoot handheld during the day and not having to use like really slow shutter speeds in low light situations like sunrise and stuff like that. And I love the look of HP5 at 800 and 1600, so I really look forward to seeing what Delta will look like. I'm heading back now. I still have 4 shots left on the roll of HP5 and 6 shots on the roll of Delta. I'll finish them around the house. There are plenty of things that I can photograph there, and they could be more interesting for this comparison than just more trees. So let's do that. I guess I lied because I'm photographing trees again, but this is something that I do very often to capture silhouettes of trees or buildings or whatever, as I talked in my previous video about how to make better black and white images. If you haven't watched it, I'm gonna just leave the link around here. I wanna see how the two films react to this high contrast between the dark trees and the bright sky in the background, and see how they handle it. I forgot to mention this, but of course I'm keeping the same settings for both film stocks, since I'm shooting them both at 1600 ASA speed. All I do is just swap the film back and take the shot again. Okay, I'm back home. I've loaded the 2 rolls in the same tank because I didn't know this, but I got lucky. Both film stocks have the same developing time. Well, I'm developing for HP5 for 1600. I'm developing Delta for 3200 because, as I said, the images were kind of underexposed. So I shot it at 1600. I'm developing it for 3200. I'm using my usual developer, Ilford HC. I'm using Ilford Fixer, and the film stocks are from Ilford, so pretty much Ilford all the way. I feel like I'm rushing this video. I don't usually shoot the video, edit the video, and post the video the same day, even less when I shoot film and I have to develop film and I have to scan it, and even less when then I'm gonna give my opinion about the photos. So yeah, I hope that it works out and it's not bad. I have no idea about the footage that I got this morning because it was a mess with all the stuff that I had and all the errors that I was getting from all my devices. So yeah, 10 more minutes and then we'll move to the fixer. Okay, so they look fine. This one on the left is the Delta, the one on the right is HP5. The HP5 one looks a little bit darker to my eye here, but I will have to wait until I scan them to know for sure. I only have to wait for them to dry now, but I have to run because there are people waiting for me to have lunch, so be right back. And we are back. Not only that, but I have already scanned the pictures there on my computer waiting for us. But before getting into that, let me give you some context and make some things clear. First of all, this was not a scientific test. This was only for me. I spend a lot of time on the road, as you can see in all these videos. I don't have too much time at every location, probably just 1, 2 to 3 days. So I don't want to spend that time like doing experiments like this, comparing film stocks. So now that I'm back at my hometown, I have a few days and a little bit of time. So I decided to put my favorite film stock HP5 against Delta 3200 that I had shot just once in the past, but I liked what I saw. I liked the grain, maybe a little bit too much, but I liked it. So I wanted to see how both film stocks performed next to each other, side by side, the same shots and the same exposures and everything. To be honest, I don't want to like Delta more than HP5 for the simple reason that HP5 is much cheaper. I think I can get a roll for $5 while Delta goes for some $8 or something like that. So it's almost twice the price. And if you shoot a lot of film, that at the end, in the long term, that's a lot of money. Bear that in mind that I'm rooting for HP5 from the very beginning. Also, your needs might be completely different from mine. As I mentioned in the previous video, I like the deep shadows, I like high contrast, and you might like the opposite, and that's totally fine. That's why we have multiple film stocks to choose from. And yeah, let's take a look at these two. Can make it smaller. Well, anyway, you'll have to bear with my face there. So these are all the shots that I have here. Purple ones are Delta, the green ones are HP5. Oh, before I forget, you remember when the film back jammed? So I thought that it was actually taking photos, but on the same frame over and over, but I wasn't able to just advance. But it was not taking any photos. Actually, it was not exposing the film, and I thought I was going to get like multiple exposures on that frame, but nope, they are just regular frames. This was one of them, for example, as you can see, was a regular frame. So it's good to know for the next time. Yeah, let's start with the first image I took, that it was this one, and let's put them side by side. Well, as you can see right away, this is HP5 on the left, this is Delta 3200 on the right, and right away you can see the difference in contrast. HP5 is much higher contrast than Delta. Remember, I pushed HP5 2 stops and I was actually pulling Delta 1 stop, so you can see why, or you can see the result of that here right away. So if we zoom in here, I don't want to pixel peep here, but you can see that Delta looks much worse. I don't know if it's just the contrast that is lower contrast or what. Everything should be in focus because I was far away from this wall and the basket, and I was shooting at f8, so everything should be in focus, but somehow Delta doesn't look that good. But yeah, So let's look at another shot. This was the second one I took. So once again, HP5 on the left, Delta on the right. This one is more similar in both cases. You have a little bit more of texture here in Delta on the clouds, I believe. You can see that there is more detail on the Delta image than the HP5. Also in HP5 there is a dog that we don't have on the Delta shot, but yeah. So let's keep moving to the next one. So once again, HP5 on the left, once again, Delta on the right. Once again, HP5 has a much higher contrast than Delta. And if we zoom in, come on, once again, we see that HP5 looks better overall, like the details and the resolution almost, I want to say, than HP5 is better than Delta. Looks a little bit, I don't know, blurry here. The grain too, you can start seeing to see the grain here, that Delta has more grain than HP5, even though I'm pushing HP5 and I'm pulling Delta. Let's look at this one. This one, I was interested in seeing this one. And I believe that, oh no, HP5 is on the right now and Delta on the left. And funny enough, it looks like the Delta shot is a little bit more contrasty now, just a little bit. But they look pretty similar to me. Let's zoom in even more. You can definitely tell that the grain, that Delta is much grainier than HP5. You can barely notice the grain from here on HP5, but you can tell here that Delta has a lot of grain. Let's look at this one. So again, HP5 on the right, Delta on the left. Let's see at the resolution here of the wood. Oops, I know why it does that. But right away you can see that these buckets are darker on HP5. You can see more of the wood here on Delta that you cannot see here on HP5. So yeah, Delta has less contrast. It retains better the shadows. Other than that, they both look fine. Let me zoom in even more. You can clearly see the grain on Delta. I love that. But to me, look at this. Look at the ladder here. This is, you can barely see these letters here, and you can almost read them here on HP5. I don't know if that's normal. I don't know if it was me doing something wrong. But yeah, something is definitely going on there. Okay, so these were the negatives as they came out directly from the scanner. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get a couple images from both Delta and HP5 and edit them as I would normally do and see what the final result is. Okay, I'm gonna show you a couple shots here. I worked on both of them, HP5 on the left, Delta on the right. As you can see, I increased the contrast on the Delta image. And still, HP5 looks much better. I like the grain on the Delta shot a little bit more because I like fat, big grain. But the HP5 image is just way better in every sense. Once again, I don't know if this was the operator fault. This image was not taken on the tripod, so there could be some differences there. I might have not been standing on the exact same spot, although I think I was. I didn't move, but yeah, it's HP5 is definitely the winner here. And the other shot, this one I definitely took it from the tripod, using the tripod. So Delta on the left, HP5 on the right. As you can see, the contrast is very similar now. You cannot see the wood here or here. Is pretty much the same level of details. And as I mentioned before, the ladder had less details on Delta. And once again, even with the clarity increased and the contrast increased, it's still worse than HP5. My conclusion after just a few minutes looking at these images on my computer, and please take all of this with a grain of salt because your case will probably different than mine. This I'm just talking from my perspective and my personal use of these film stocks, and your case is gonna be different if you use, for example, a different scanner. I use an Epson V550. So your scanner might produce different results, also the settings that you use, a lot of things might vary. But I think that there are a few things that we can say here. Of course, we were expecting this, but Delta is a grainier film. The grain is thicker and bigger, I love that, than HP5. HP5, keep in mind that this was HP5 pushed 2 stops. Both films were exposed for 1600. And yeah, HP5 actually it's pretty fine detailed film here compared to Delta. Also, you can see the details in some of the shots. Delta looks just worse. That's not a huge deal in my case because I like to print my photos small, 6 by 6 inches. So that's not a big deal for me, but it might be for you if you print bigger. What else can we say? Well, of course, Delta being less contrasty retains more shadows than HP5. HP5, when you push it 2 stops, you might lose some of the details in the shadows. I love that because those are the deep, dark shadows that I'm looking for. But once again, that might not be your cup of tea. I don't think I have much else to say. Here, I'm gonna upload all these files, the original TIFF files. I'm gonna leave a link down below just in case you wanna download them and compare them by yourself. Just be aware that each file is 50 megs. So doing the math is gonna be 1.2 gigs, the whole thing. I'm gonna leave them in my Dropbox or Google Drive or whatever. And yeah, if you notice something that I haven't here, please leave a comment down below. Before letting you go, I just wanted to ask you, what's your favorite film stock and why? I think it could be fun to compare HP5 to more film stocks in the future, and I need some ideas, so please leave a comment down below. That's all I got for today. I hope this video made sense. It was a little bit of a mess during the whole day. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.